Hello everyone, Darko 2012 here with Global Government News, and I'm reading an article from the New York Times, and it's titled CIA Deaths Prompt Surge in U.S. Drone Attacks. This comes to no surprise because the CIA promised to step up aggressive attacks against the Afghan/Pakistani Taliban, or the Pakistani Taliban. That's who was supposedly responsible or are taking responsibility for the attack against the CIA, which killed 7 CIA members. And I just wanted to point this article out here before I finish reading the Times article, just to give you just a brief background, because they're going to tell you the background that they want you to, kind of the skewed background that justifies them carrying out the attacks that are going to most likely kill innocent civilians, along with the quote Taliban that are responsible for the CIA attacks. We have this article from January 1st, 2010, titled "Pakistan Taliban Claims It Carried Out CIA Attack," and the link to this article is no longer available, so I couldn't pull it up. But I'm just going to skip here to this part right here, because this it's going to finish up here, and just check out what I'm saying here. Pashtuns, an ethnic group that straddles both sides of the Afghan-Pakistan border and whose members easily sit back and forth between the countries. In Washington, CIA Director Leon Panetta said Thursday that the 7 killed in the Khost attack were far from home and close to the enemy, doing the hard work that must be done to protect our country from terrorism. We gotta bomb them, we gotta get Al-Qaeda, we gotta take them out, we gotta kill all their children, start bombing and maiming old women. That's what we gotta do to keep us safe. A U.S. intelligence official said the attack will be avenged through successful, aggressive counterterrorism operations. Yeah, so see, when they do that, right? When they're getting bombed, and they get pissed off that their fucking children and their elders are getting blown up, they get a little angry. They're not total slaves, right? They get pissed off, and they want to fight back. Says Washington. Since the suicide bombing that took the lives of 7 Americans in Afghanistan on December 30th, the Central Intelligence Agency has struck back against militants in Pakistan with the most intensive series of missile strikes from drone aircraft since the covert program begun. Beginning the day after the attack on a CIA base in Khost, Afghanistan, the agency has carried out 11 strikes that have killed about 90 people suspected of being militants, according to the Pakistani news reports, which make almost no mention of civilian casualties. The assault has included strikes on a mud fortress in North Waziristan on January 6th that killed 17 people, and a volley of missiles on a compound in South Waziristan last Sunday that killed 20 people. For the CIA, there is certainly an element of wanting to show that they can hit back, said Bill Roggio, the editor of the Long War Journal, an online publication that tracks the CIA's drone campaign. Mr. Roggio, as well as Pakistani and American intelligence officials, said that many of the recent strikes had focused on the Pakistani Taliban and its leader, Hakimullah Mehsud, who claimed responsibility for the Khost bombing. The Khost attack cost the agency dearly, taking the lives of the most experienced analyst of Al-Qaeda, whose intelligence helped guide the drone attacks. Yet, the agency has responded by doubling its assault. Drone attacks have come roughly every other day this month, up from about once a week last year, to the most furious pace since the drone campaign began in earnest in the summer of 2008. Pakistan's announcement on Thursday that its army would delay any new offensives against militants in North Waziristan for 6 to 12 months is likely to increase American reliance on the drone strikes, administration and counterterrorism officials said. By next year, the CIA is expected to more than double its fleet of the latest Reaper aircraft, bigger, faster, and more heavily armed than the older Predators, to 14 from 6, an Obama administration official said. God help them, man. Even before the Khost attack, White House officials had made it clear to Dennis Blair, the Director of National Intelligence, and Leon Panetta, the CIA Director, that they expected significant results from the drone strikes in reducing the threat from Al-Qaeda and the Pakistan Taliban, according to administration official and former senior CIA official with close ties to the White House. These concerns only heightened after the attempted December 25 25th bombing of a Detroit-bound airliner. While that plot involved a Nigerian man sent by a Qaeda offshoot, or I don't know if there was a typo, it's supposed to be Al-Qaeda offshoot in Yemen, intelligence officials say they believe that Al-Qaeda's top leaders in Pakistan have called on affiliates to carry out attacks against the West. There's huge pressure from the White House on Blair and Panetta, said the former CIA official, who spoke on condition of anonymity. I have a hard time pronouncing that word. Out of concern about angering the White House. The feeling is the clock is ticking. After the Khost bombing, intelligence officials vowed that they would retaliate. One angry senior American intelligence official said the CIA would avenge the Khost attack. Some very bad people eventually have a very bad day, the official said at the time, speaking on the conditions he not be identified by describing a classified program. Today, officials deny that the vengeance is driving the increased attacks, though one called the drone attacks drone strikes the purest form of self-defense. That's, of course, the preemptive philosophy in war, where you're not ever really on a defensive, but they find a way to say it's called preemptive war, where you attack the enemy before they can attack you first, which anyone who knows about morality or philosophy, you can just understand that argument is totally nonsense and does nothing but thrives and builds real terrorists, and CIA, Al-Qaeda, Al-Qaeda terrorists as well. That's all it does. Just like in Vietnam, they learned with those tactics. You go with those tactics, you're going to get the same tactics back. So I honestly don't believe that, the purest form of self-defense is just drone striking people. I just don't think it's going to work. But that's just my opinion, and I'm sure I'm wrong, and I'm sure the terrorists are going to come get us in our beds at night, and we need to just keep bombing and bombing and bombing and bombing while our economy is going to shit. We can support Boeing and Northrop Grumman and all the defense contractors that right now, or besides the bankers, are doing pretty damn good right now as far as the economy goes. They're at the top. So officials point to other factors. For one, Pakistan recently dropped restrictions on the drone program it had requested last fall to accompany a ground offensive against militants in South Waziristan, and tips on the whereabouts of extremists ebb and flow unpredictably. A CIA spokesman, Paul Gimigliano, declined to comment on the drone strikes, but he said the agency's counterterrorism operations, lawful, aggressive, precise, and effective, continue without pause. In other words, they're going to keep doing it. And lawful, preemptive. That's how they get past all the defense and legal aspects. They just say it's lawful to preemptively strike people. But I don't know. Maybe it was a legitimate terrorist attack. Maybe it was grassroots. This guy wasn't an operative that was playing both sides and whatever. And it wasn't a false flag terrorist attack. So maybe they are on the defense. Aggressive. It's certainly aggressive. Precise. And effective means that they're not killing civilians. So, but they're not going to really. They said that they're not killing civilians, but I don't trust the reports coming out of there. The strikes carried out from a secret base in Pakistan and controlled by satellite link from CIA headquarters in Virginia have been expanded by Obama and praised by both parties in Congress as a potent weapon against terrorism that puts no American lives at risk. That calculation must be revised in light of the Khost bombing. So there you